And welcome back to Just Ask Mrs. Hurlbutt. This is episode, excuse me, episode 29. And our topic today is no comparison. I was trying to find a way to title that. Hi, Lucy. Lucy's here.
Hi, still here.
And Lucy, last episode, without even knowing, alluded to this episode, so much so that she quoted my quote that I posted on Wednesday. Crazy. We must be related or something. Anyway, why do we compare ourselves constantly? Yes, I know social media has a lot to do with that, but we've been comparing ourselves since the beginning of time. I did it all through high school, all through college. There was no social media. There was just people meeting people and being in rooms and talking on the phone with people. So why do we do it? And how can we get out of that habit, get rid of that vice so we can find real joy in our lives? Lucy, what do you got for me?
Okay, why does it feel like everyone else has it so much better than me?
Well, the reality is they don't. Why does it feel that way? Well, because typically we are our own worst critic and we are observing ourselves much more often and much more deeply than anybody else is looking at us. So we are critiquing ourselves and we're finding every single thing that's wrong with ourselves and getting so caught up in that we forget to look at what's good about ourselves. And then we look at other people, it's the opposite. We don't see all the flaws that they see in themselves. We only see what's good. And they tend to only showcase what's good. So that's not true. It's just simply not true. It might feel like it, but it's not true. So the goal would be to get out of the feelings, to rise above them, and observe from a more objective standpoint. And that is recognizing that everybody has beautiful qualities and everybody has flaws, period. Some are more obvious than others, some are more visible than others, some are more declared and recognized than others, but I promise you, no one sees your flaws and your imperfections and your quote-unquote failures to the degree that you ever do.
Yeah, I also think that when we're talking about struggles, like if someone has it easier than you, that type of situation, my sister and I, it took us 22 years to get there, but she always likes to say that she learned that your worst problem is your worst problem and her worst problem is her worst problem. So if I'm coming to her about a breakup, but her 2-year-old is starting school she might think that her problem's worse than mine, but it really doesn't matter. As long as there's people around you that care, your problem is your worst problem that you're dealing with, and that's all they should see it as.
Well, and if you're not comparing yourselves to each other, you're able to objectively offer advice to someone else. I'm sure I've mentioned this many times before, and that is when someone comes to you and they're feeling like things are really bad for them in comparison to somebody else, you can't then add fuel to the fire by comparing them to whatever you're doing. You have to stop, set aside any personal feelings you have about yourself and make it all about that person, because that person's coming to you.
Exactly.
So you say, so tell me what's going on. And don't say, oh yeah, that happens to me all the time. That's listening to respond instead of listening to understand, which I know we've spoken of before. But the point is, when you offer support to that person, do not compare. I don't know if that's tapping into another question, but don't compare. Know for sure that what you're going through that's you own it.
Yeah.
And that should be dealt with, but don't compare.
And even if the people that you're going to, like my sister, will come to me about problems with her kids. I don't have kids.
Yeah.
But because she's not comparing her life to mine and she's just seeing that she has a problem and that I'm someone she wants to come to, she's able to still open her ears and listen to what I have to say, even though our lives aren't at the same place.
Well, you also offer an objective opinion, which is really important because we get so caught up in the subjectivity of our imperfections that sometimes it helps to have another person say, let me just tell you from a standpoint of somebody who's an observer, here's the facts. Here are the things that I see.
Yeah. Okay, why do I feel behind when I see when I see what others are doing? Why do I feel behind when I see what others are doing?
Okay, there's that word feeling again. Feeling is not fact. Feeling is an emotion. And behind is tricky. I always tell my students we're all on a spectrum. I'm going to remove myself from that. Young folks are all on a spectrum of where they want to be when they want to be there. You might know when you're 2 years old exactly what you want to do with your life. Your passion is directing you to a very clear goal. You might not know until you're in high school. Some people don't figure it out till college, and some not even until after that. I always say, listen, if you're 30 years old and you're on your parents' couch and you don't know what you're going to do with your life, yeah, that might be time. You might have hit a wall and it's time to really have a come to Jesus moment. But up until then, you're not behind. You're on your schedule. You're not on anyone else's schedule. So stop comparing yourself to what's going on around you. You might have your 5 best friends who after college landed phenomenal jobs all over the country, and you're still going into interviews for jobs you're not even sure you want. That's okay. That's your path. It doesn't mean you're behind. You still have plenty of time to get where you want to be. The goal would be to stay on that path, to not give up on yourself, so that you will find your way, and constantly expose yourself to new things. We talked about a couple episodes ago. Get identity capital. Put yourself out there, try new things. Instead of comparing yourself to other people and their timetable, focus on your own timetable. What is it you want for yourself, and when would you like to achieve it? And then set a path and move forward.
Wisely said, Mother.
Oh, thank you so much.
How can I build my own self-confidence without needing someone else's approval?
Wow.
That's interesting.
Sometimes that requires a lifetime of habits to change. What?
No, you answer. I'll say
Okay.
after. I don't want to contradict.
When you say that, I automatically went back to my very first year of motherhood, my very first 2 years, 3 years of motherhood, 2 years. And Rita, my oldest, was starting preschool. And it was really annoying me as I observed her, because it was a cooperative preschool and I was very much involved. All the parents were involved. And I would watch her with her peers, and I'd watch her socialize. I'd watch her work on all of her arts and crafts and whatever. And every time she did something, she'd run to me and she'd say, "What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Mom, 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 what do you think?" And I finally looked at the teacher and I said, "What do I do?" She is constantly looking for my approval. And I said that to her, and she said, "Well, tell me how you deal with her at home." And I go, "Oh my God, I created a monster." I kept saying to her, "Oh, Mommy's so proud of you. Oh, Mommy likes that. Mommy doesn't think you should do that. Mommy this, Mommy that." And I said, I was making it about me. She goes, "Yeah, make it about her." And from that point on, I don't know why you're laughing, but from that point on, I was like, "Well, Mommy, what do you think?" I'd say, "Well, what do you think? What is that? Tell me what you're looking." Instead of saying, "Mommy's so proud of you," that I would say, "Tell me more. What is it that you drew?" And I realized that I was the problem. I was the one that was teaching her that my approval was more important than her own identity.
Or that it dictated right and wrong.
Yeah, and so I tell people now when they ask me that kind of a question, let's go back. Where is this rooted? And did somebody make you think that that's true? Because it's not true. And if they don't change the way that they treat you, then you've got to change the way that you view your own successes and failures. Ask yourself what you think. It shouldn't matter what other people think. I'm just dying to know what you were going to say. You're just giggling over there.
No, this is an inside family joke. It's okay.
Is it your siblings against me?
No.
Oh. She didn't want to share it with
No.
me? Okay.
Next
All right. No, wait, let's go back to that question really quick.
Okay.
Did I answer it?
Yeah. Well, no. How can I...
I didn't think I did.
How can I build my own self-confidence? So after you've discovered the root of it, how can I build my self-confidence?
Again, instead of comparing where you're at with where somebody else is at, like if your goals are, relationship goals, is that relationship? Weight loss goals, is that girl? Hair goals, is that? No. Your goals should be your end point. not somebody else's. And so the best way to do that in a healthy way is to set realistic goals for who you are and what you're capable of with your time, your resources, your skill sets, whatever they are. So instead of choosing somebody else as your goal should be visualizing you at that point, not somebody else. Did I answer it yet?
Yeah. Do you mind if I add something?
Go right ahead, Lucy. I know you will.
I think that specifically with approval and like your own approval coming into play, I think trusting your own judgment is so important. But I feel like I very much this last year learned the process of doing it.
I was going to say trusting your own judgment is oftentimes a acquired skill.
No, but that's what I was going to say. I think a little tip that I would throw in for building the confidence to do that is that with smaller life choices, just go with your gut. And if you're right, you'll start understanding that feeling of trusting your judgment. Mm-hmm. And if you're wrong, then
learn from that.
But maybe it is okay in that sense when you're actively trying to understand your sense of judgment, get the approval of or advice of someone
you trust. Right.
Because that will help you start gaining better judgment so
Right.
that you can trust your own judgment and have more confidence in doing so.
And it's about personal best. It's setting a realistic goal for you that doesn't involve anyone else. What is it that I want for me? Mm-hmm. And how can I get there realistically on my timetable? Okay, what's next?
Okay, to tie in to last week, how do I stop comparing myself to what I see on social media?
Social media should be your entertainment, your inspiration, your self-help, perhaps, but it shouldn't be, oh, that's what I don't have. It shouldn't be, this brings me down because there's no way I'm ever going to have a relationship like that, or there's no way I'm ever going to have a body like that. There's no way I'm ever going to have a career like that. That doesn't do you any good. Social media should be the inspiration. So that goes back to last episode of really be careful what you watch. Be careful what you're drawn to. Draw on things that help you achieve your own personal best, not to cut you down because you aren't that way and there's no way you're ever going to be that way because it's not you. It's somebody else's life you're looking at. And it's not even their everyday life. It's their ideal. People tend to post the ideal.
Yeah, they're just posting their highlights.
Yeah, the highlights. Right.
I will say, as someone that I think I used to struggle pretty hard with comparison, and I don't think I struggle too hard now with it. Understanding, especially now, the comparison always came from this idea of how unobtainable all those things were. That person's job, that person's lifestyle, that person's body, that person's house, whatever it may be. I think shifting the perspective that like it is obtainable, but there's so much smaller steps that you need to change to get there. And
it's your version of obtainable.
That's what I was going to say. Like if I see someone like now and I see someone super fit having the body or workout routine that I strive for, my brain isn't immediately like, oh, that just makes me feel like crap about myself. It's like, okay, how can I readjust my schedule so that I have time to go back to the gym and time to make the right meals? Instead of just immediately like, I can't have that.
It's a long-term lifestyle.
Yeah, but
plan.
Not just immediately being like, those are unobtainable. It's like, you could have the body you want. You could eventually have the career that you want. It's going to look different from everyone's, of course, but you have to actually have the motivation to start those steps when it comes to comparison.
And when you stop looking at other people's progress, you have much more space and perspective on your own progress.
Yeah.
And sometimes we get so caught up in what other people are doing, we don't even see the progress that's happening right before our eyes. It's us that we're evolving and doing the things we want to do. If we stop comparing, we can actually see that growth happening.
Yeah.
Okay. What
Well,
else you got? What?
that was the last
That's
question.
it? Oh my goodness, that was so fast. Guys, stop comparing. What is it? The thief of comparison is the thief of joy. We're all about joy, guys. The goal is joy and happiness. And when we just compare ourselves last week to ourselves today, that's much more manageable than comparing ourselves now to some other person now. That's apples and oranges. Stick with the you that was before, the you that is now, and the you that is yet to come. Because that's the secret sauce, and that's where all the magic's going to happen. Believe in yourself and try new things and pick a direction, plan something, and go for it. And stick to it. Healthy lifestyle changes makes all the difference. And now Lucy's pointing at me because I think she wants to say something.
I also, just as an end note, will always throw in that remind yourself that right now you're living a life that you once prayed for.
Oh, that
And
might
if
have to be
you-
my next quote.
If you compare your life to other people, compare it to where you were. Compare it to yourself. Where you were, and you might be
Preach.
so much better and what you wanted 10 years ago, but now you're looking at the next 10 years.
And that's perspective. The past brings you to now. The now prepares you for later. You got this. So
Amen.
don't go comparing. The only person you should comparing yourself to is yourself. All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. I'll see you next time.